you've done this with lots of different companies. Can you just look at somebody and know what their why is?
99, I mean, I can think that I do, but I don't go by that anymore. No way. No
I
way.
can't.
Because again, you fall into the presumption thing, and 99 times out of 100, that's incorrect.
Yes.
So when you get this, validated in a, 5 minutes, quite frankly, is all less than that really is all this app takes. Now I'm in a much better position to understand how to communicate with the person, not in a manipulative manner, but more in a way of being able to establish rapport with the person. So it's really helpful.
Well, one of the things that happens in family businesses is it can be really easy to misinterpret things. Well, in any business, right? Somebody does something and you attach meaning to it and you don't know what that, and so typically you attach a negative meaning to it. And now you're ticked off about something and that isn't even what actually happened, or the way that they, that's not their thinking about what happened. But when you know somebody's why, Laverne, you can see what they're doing from the perspective of how they think, and you'll understand it at a completely different level. It'll make sense to you. Oh, okay. I get what Michael's doing. He's challenging the status quo. He's wanting us to think differently. He's wanting us to think bigger. Whereas other people may think of Michael as, why is he being a pain in the whatever again? Well, why won't he just accept any of this? He won't. That's just how he is, right? He's going to challenge it. And so you'll see what he does from the perspective of why he does it, and you will understand it and you will value it. Because when you need to think outside the box, when things aren't working and you've been trying the same thing, you can go to Michael and say, hey, Michael, what do you think about this? And he'll get you outside of that box you've put yourself in. Is that making sense?
It does. And the more you talk about that, the more I now realize why Michael's a challenge. Why.
Yes.
So.
And you can smile about it now, and you can laugh about it like you are, versus kind of underneath your breath, kind of snicker about, man, that guy's a pain in the butt, man. He just always is causing this. Well, that's what he does. That's why you hired him.
What does he mean that BHAG isn't big enough?
This is great to turn Michael's show like against him.
This is actually helping, because when people understand that, as a coach, I'm the challenge guy, I'm coming in with exactly that reason to say, why are you taking that as okay? That's what do you mean? There's always, I don't want to say better way, because that's a whole nother thing, but it's to challenge them. And it is challenge them to be a better way to get to the next level. And the great thing
for you, Michael, is, as you're talking with prospective customers, right? Prospective CEOs, you can say to them very clearly, look, this is who you get when you get me. And if you're not up for somebody challenging your thinking and questioning the way you're doing things and pushing you in new directions, right? I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's perfectly okay. And I just want to point, so Laverne, putting the right people in the right seats is what Gary was talking about before. I mean, we all know that the skill set that everyone brings to their particular function in a company and their experience, et cetera, is all really, really important. But we also know that that isn't the whole package, right? You get the entire emotional side. You get what you get with Chris Kenny are the filters through which I view my work, my position in the company, my value to the company, et cetera. And if you don't understand that as a leader, it's far more difficult for you to put the right people in the right seats, right? With the right skill sets, obviously, right? But putting them in places where they will thrive. And they'll thrive not just because they have the skill set to do the work, but because the nature of the job at your particular company calls on them to express the best of themselves, and their personal why formula or their YOS fits that job function in your company absolutely perfectly. Whereas, you know, it may be a complete dysfunction, even though the same skill set could be applied in a different role in your company or in a different company altogether, right? The fact that what you're looking for them to do draws upon their why, how, and what, because you know it, and you put them in that role, oh man, watch them take off. I've seen it time and time and time again. It's really powerful for, as a leader, to be able to have a method for putting the right people in the right seats.